Hello there, welcome to another interesting coverage of the 2023 General Polls here on Vanguard Live TV, broadcasting to you from the city of Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. Well, of course, my name is Idowu Bankole, and I have with me a co-host, a very beautiful damsel here with me in the studio, Damilola Ogunshakin. Dami.
Tough. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Should I start with the praises first, or should we just start talk about the elections?
No, let us go straight to the election.
It's a wonderful one today. I mean, there are 837 governorship candidates,
Right.
and the fact that they will slug it out today
Right.
in 28 states of Nigeria. Not every state. Some people are not aware, but not all the states are.
Right.
No, they won't be voting in all the states apart from the state houses of assembly.
Right.
Yeah, and I noticed that I think 21 states the governors are going out,
Right.
while just I think just 11 or so.
Yeah.
They are just going. Okay, 17 governors are departing. Why
Departing,
11
right.
governors? 11 people are just trying to.
Yeah.
They are going for receipt again. So
The
it's
seat,
a
right.
good one.
Right.
And the fact that I think you should tell us your experience. I remember that you
Yeah,
went
well,
down.
as well, some couple of hours ago, I was outside, and in fact, I can tell you that the enthusiasm of the electorate it's very, very, very massive. Well, I see people so excited coming out to vote, and to me, I think despite the issue of insecurity, threat from some quarters, people still muster the courage to come out, and exercise their franchise, and I think that is something very, very commendable on the part of the electorate. Then I also think that, well, we've had issues of INEC not getting to the polling unit on time. Of course, we also hear of some cases where security agents are not on ground, and I think that should improve in the next couple of hours as the election progresses. Well, of course, I also know that some key states, a lot of us are interested in what happened in Lagos, Kano State, Rivers, of course, and a couple of other states. Just like you mentioned, we have some candidates, that are currently vying for the office. We have some that are outgoing governors, and then a couple of others are just trying to, get on board, governing whatever states they are contending for. And I think that is going to be very interesting. For instance, in Lagos, we have a sitting governor who is trying to be re-elected. And of course, we saw what happened in the 2023 presidential election, where
Our sitting governor have employed many skills in politicking, especially with the wooing of people, with the persuasion skills. I think this is the first time I'm seeing that. Yes,
no, but when we spoke to some of these aides, and then they said, well, there's nothing wrong in what the governor has been doing.
No, of course not.
It's particularly about campaigning and all of that, and you wonder, wow, a lot of people still feel that okay, maybe because his party lost the presidential election, in Lagos, and so he decided to now employ some of these new skills, like you call them, trying to woo the people of Lagos and all that. But I think in all, it's been very, very interesting. The fact that the campaign has not been one of calumny, of course, and people have been advised to go out to vote. Just yesterday, he advised some traditionalists who came out and said the Oro Festival is going to still happen. A lot of people questioned that, but the governor came out yesterday and said, you have to respect citizens' rights. Not everybody, understand what this festival
is about.
Yes, so you need to respect people. And I think that is really commendable from the governor, coming out to allay fears of intimidation, telling people to go about their business voting. I think it is something really commendable. And of course, I think other states too are taking cue from the Lagos governor. Though some have said that is under, threat, panic. So
I think that will take me to the video that was actually trending yesterday,
Yes.
and the fact that Yashukudi was actually trending
Oh.
throughout on Twitter.
Yes.
And that was because of the video that came out where his supporter, the governor's supporter, said some things, and it was a little bit tribalistic and all that, and that angered a lot of Lagosians.
Yes.
And we can't also talk about the fact that there's been a lot of different things surrounding these Lagos State governorship candidates,
Right.
especially that of Gbadebo.
Right.
GRV, the one of Labour Party.
candidates.
And now we have three major contenders. We have APC, we have Labour Party, and we have PDP.
Right.
So I guess this is really bringing it's causing a lot of
Controversies
controversies in the
intrigues
state.
and all of
We've been
that.
seeing people, we've even seen videos where some people are saying they're shooting in some places there, but of course we can't confirm that. So my own just what I'll just tell people is just go out to vote and just forget about these things that they're saying that is going on, but just make sure you try to stay safe in
Well,
Lagos.
let me quickly talk about the issue of the Chukudi video and all that. I think the MC Oluomo guy, did something really commendable, coming out to debunk the fact that he threatened the Igbo.
But there was a video.
Well, if there was a video, he just came out to make a clarification that the person I was referring to then is this woman. And the woman also came out, the boldness to come out and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was the Yachukudi this person was referring to."
The woman selling Indomie.
So I think that is really commendable going into the election, because we need to tell the electorate that your safety is assured.
Yes.
Come out, vote, and you're safe. Vote whoever you want to vote for, right? You are safe, and then nobody is going to intimidate you, nobody is going to kill you, nobody is going to injure you for choosing your candidate.
No.
Right? So I think that is commendable coming from MC Oluomo. Okay, so also in Rivers State, a lot really happened. In fact, yesterday we saw major political stakeholders, the candidates of the APC Tony Cole and that of the XDP, that's Magnus Abbey, storming the police headquarters in that state, and then of course trying to tell the police commissioner that you need to rein in the governor. He's been doing this, he's been doing that. Then the governor just said, "Well, I'm not doing anything. I don't know what you guys are saying." Well, I think we need to watch out for what is happening. Yes, on that state. Well, in the course of our program, we are still going to discuss that with our correspondent in Rivers State, and I hope he's going to give us a lot of insight into what is happening.
But one thing about Rivers is that APC won that Rivers in the presidential election. So many people were expecting, that, many people, like maybe the governor, will actually campaign for APC, but that's not what people are saying. No, but people are actually surprised that he actually came back.
There was a twist to that. Well, presidency was APC, but the senatorial election was PDP. So how that happened? Well, I can only say that the good people of Rivers are well informed. When the governor says support the
former Minister of
APC
Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, we've been seeing him that in house campaigning for APC's candidates. That's Tony Cole. Yeah, and also there are now three major people: SDP, that Magnus Abbey, and also the PDP. So those three now. The governor of the state is campaigning for someone else, former minister of, this is also, and also the actually say part of the someone like with some people's favorite, that's the SDP candidate. So Rivers State is also one of the states I'm really looking forward to, because I know it's going to be an interesting one.
A hotbed,
I remember we spoke to one of our correspondents, I think sometime this week, and he was saying that the fear that there's still fear in the mind of people, that people might actually come out
it is normal, because going into the election there were a lot of cases of kidnapping, arson, and name it happening in that state, and some will tell you that it's just a scare tactics that some political bigwigs in the states do not want people to vote for a particular candidate, and then when you hear that your opponent or your leader has been arrested, kidnapped, and all that, what is left? You would rather stay home, than going out to vote. But I hope that will not play out, today.
In all of this, we did talk about Tonto
Oh God! Yeah, well, apologies to you, Tonto DK. Well, we are not saying you are not one of the political gladiators. Of course, we know you have your teaming supporters who of course will be out there today to vote you, but then Tonto DK has really been quiet. I haven't heard a lot from her well, compared to Funke Akindele before the advent of Labour Party in Lagos. Okay, so Tonto DK was in the news recently.
I think she came out to actually endorse someone else also recently. I saw a video of that, and I think I didn't really go through the video, but it's actually very, very interesting that the fact that. But I remember when I spoke to one of our correspondents, it was like Tonto DK that they just wanted to use her fame, to make people know the party very well. Right. Just like the way people felt that maybe that was the same thing.
I think governorship election is a serious thing.
But we actually did not. We've not heard a lot from her. People campaigning. Although we saw some videos where she was campaigning and she went out with her, with our fans and all that. So it's a great one, but we just hope we'll see more of her in the other elections and other politics
if she gets to win today, it will be interesting to know how Tonto Dike is going to govern the state, alongside our principal. But then it is very interesting, all of this thing. Well, Kano State is also another state that I think we need to really look at, where a lot has been happening in Kano State. The APC-led government came out yesterday and said, that a particular political party have employed some fake observers. And I was like, wow, fake observers, right? And the party came out and said, no, you are actually the people, that are employing fake, INEC officials and all those things. So, it is really going to be very interesting what is coming out from Kano State. And of course, we are going to be feeding our audience, with some of the interesting stories in the next couple of hours, what would be happening in Kano State. Then, of course, Oyo State.
Oyo State is an interesting one. Governor Sheyi Makinde, incumbent governor, and the fact that APC swept all the local government in the presidential election, but some attributed this to the fact that but some attributed the victory to a deal with the the president-elect. But of course, so they've all now come out to say no, there was no deal. It's just the fact that the president-elect had a lot of fans in Oyo State and all that. But we are looking at it now. Can Governor Sheyi Makinde win this election? Well, it's for the people. It's citizens who really want to answer that question.
Yes, because it looks more like a very, very tight race.
It's a very tight race.
If at all there was a deal, well, some people feel that, well, maybe the APC should be supporting, Governor Makinde, but reverse has actually been the case, because what we've heard from the gubernatorial candidate of the APC, Mr. Teslim Folari, happened to be one that looks like he is ready to take advantage of what happened in the presidential poll. Well, it is really going to be interesting what really plays out there today. Of course, voting is currently ongoing in your state and other parts of the 28 states where the election is taking place, and of course we hope it remains peaceful. So far we haven't had much incident that threatens the election, and of course we hope it continues this way. At least for once we should have a very credible.
Well, I think I also like to talk about Sokoto. Sokoto State is one of the states to look out for. The fact that in 2019 Aminu Tambuwal, he won the Guba election with just 350 votes.
That was close.
So, and that's the slimmest margin so far. And PDP also won this Sokoto with fewer than just 4,000 votes in this presidential election. That was 3 weeks ago. So most of the National Assembly in the state, they are still inconclusive. So I guess that's why a lot of people are still, they are also looking forward to this. So it's likely going to be like a slight fight between the PDP and APC.
I think you're right, because the process leading up to the election, or build up to the election in Sokoto State, we had incidents of defections, people defecting from the ruling party to the APC and all of that. And with that, you can easily say that, it seems as if the victory is tilted towards a particular party there, but then you never can tell. Defection and all that sometimes never win election. But we'll see how it all plays out.
We are just hoping, will they be able to survive the onslaught, or will APC sweep them with their brooms?
Well, the electors are there to decide.
They will decide it.
Of course, by the end of today, we should be getting feelers on who is, leading, and probably who is going to win the election.
Yes, and so I also saw Kaduna. Kaduna, it's also be an interesting sport.
Well, a lot has happened in Kaduna, lately, and in fact, yesterday there was an incident between the Shiites and the state government, and I don't know how much that could, influence the outcome of the election. But then I also feel that, Kaduna losing to the PDP in the presidential race might actually be a very tight one, for the should I say the incoming government, or whichever candidate the party, the governor is supporting. We know the governor is, of course, he has his own candidate who happens to be Ubasani, right?
Ubasani, yes.
Yes. So, and I don't see how
But do you think it will count? Because some people arguably, they are saying that the best governor is Erifai so far. That is what some people are saying. But will it count for Vasani? Let's not forget that PDP won all the senatorial states
in the state.
In the state.
Right, and also they won the presidential election in that state.
Exactly.
That's why I'm looking that it might be really, really a very tight one for Ubasani. But again, there's this factor we need to look at. Whatever is happening in presidential election and that of senatorial and reps election may not really translate into what will play out in the governorship and state assembly election. For instance, you may be contesting for the presidential election and I love your face and I look at, I'm going to vote Dami. And the other guy there is contesting for the governorship and I'm like, no, I don't like this guy. I'm not going to vote for him. Right.
And we're in the same party.
Yes, in the same party. So it may necessarily not translate into victory because what happened in the presidential election, and then you feel that the same is going to play out, and it may really not.
But this one is interesting now because there are 4 major contenders, unlike the other state they were saying 3 or 2. Now we have APC, Labour Party, PDP, and NNPP.
Yeah, when you say Labour Party, well, with due respect to the candidature of Mr. Jonathan Ashake, I still feel that the major strength of Labour Party in Kaduna State is the southern Kaduna, where you have majority of Christians there. But then I really don't think the Labour Party is going to come anywhere.
But they put up strong performance now in the presidential.
Well, that's presidential election. Like I said, you may actually love that. Peter Obi is who I want to vote for. I'm not voting for the other candidate. That does not translate into state election.
It does not.
So I think that.
But in a way, we know in a way there's a little impact. It's actually.
I think political pundits will tell you that yes, you can look at it from that angle. That shows what the people want. I think Lagos is exception.
It is.
Is exception because from what I've seen so far today, I think the same enthusiasm with which the Lagos electorate voted in the presidential election is also playing out. And of course, we need to commend the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Idowu. We see the presence of police almost everywhere. Yeah, except for some polling units where materials are arriving late. Of course, you do not expect police to be on ground when they are not.
But when I got through, I went to Milupeju, right. I think Ward L, Unit 11. When I got there around past 8 this morning, there was no police officer there. And while we were there, a particular person just entered the place and was just shouting, if you're not voting for this party, go out. You need to vote for this party if you want to stay. And there I saw like 2 people, they were just fidgeting and they were like, this is why they need security personnel. And that moment when I stepped out, I saw a police officer on bike riding to go to his polling unit. I mean, it's already late. That was like 8:30.
Yeah.
So I think these police officers, they just need to be on ground early.
Yes.
So that the people.
But again, I think what I understand from the deployment of security officers to polling units has to do with they look out for troubled spots. For instance, in Lagos, there are particular areas where they feel that if you must go and vote here, you need the presence of security agents on ground, just to give the people confidence enough to go and vote. And I think you have to concentrate more on such areas. Let us not forget that we still have shortage of security personnel, and we cannot really man all the polling units. But of course, I'm not making a case for why we do not have them, because I think it's a joint.
No, but I think it's just few, just like you mentioned,
just a few of them. And I'm sure some of them would still make it there. Maybe logistics and all of that might actually be the case. But so far, I think their presence and the way they've conducted themselves has been very, very, commendable so far.
Yeah, so it's really an interesting one.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to Lagos, especially because of when I listened to most of those people campaigning, they were talking about the Agbero system, and I think that was what when people say, we're coming out to vote, we're coming out.
I think also that the recent moves from the Lagos governor Some person would feel that okay, he has tried at least he has now turned to maybe skid makers and all that, and he's been doing one or two things. Well, let's just give him the vote because you can imagine when you see a sitting governor going to the mall drinking ice cream and
That
all that.
reminded me of one video I
Yeah,
saw.
so you would just like okay, let us. Oh, he's humble enough. He has let us just give him
That's
the
his
vote.
persuasion skills. Then we have
Yeah,
to give
so
his skills.
you know,
He did
so
well, and I was just seeing him everywhere. He was everywhere almost,
everywhere,
and
yeah,
it was good. It
but
was
that
actually
shows
good.
the power of the electorate. And to me, if you must ask me, I also think that it goes to show how credible the election was, the presidential election was, because that really showed that, man, if you are not on ground, if you are not listening to your people, you can get kicked out by the electorate.
Yes.
By just one vote, you can get kicked out. And that is really the beauty of democracy, if you ask me. And I think it's really commendable on the part of the electorate.
Yeah, so we'll just watch out for other states, Gombe, Adamawa. We'll call
Yeah.
them. Our correspondent will be here to, give
So
us
yeah.
more reports and all that.
All
So
right.
it's
So
good.
if you have been following us, of course, it is still the gubernatorial or governorship polls 2023, and of course, it's going to be an interesting and robust coverage here on Vanguard Live, broadcasting to you from Lagos. Well, Daniel Gunshakin is still here with us in the studio, and of course, I am still here. But we'll take a short break, and of course, we will come back with the correspondents corner. They are going to be telling us what is happening in various states where the election is taking place. My name still remains Ido Bankole, and do not forget to like and share this, and of course follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. Of course, we will be back shortly.